Tuesday night, and welcome to the newest live episode of Season's Sunflower Hour. You guys, this is the last live show of 2024. I cannot even believe I am saying those words. I hope all of you have had an absolutely amazing year and are getting ready to have an even better one in 2025. Now, if you are joining us, as always, you know how much I love seeing you guys below up the comment section. So jump in there. Let us know who's watching tonight. Let us know where you are from. Sam is already jumping on. She's watching and sending all the hearts. Well, Sam, we are sending them right back at you. Thank you guys, as always, for being a part of the Sunflower Hour family. We get to keep doing this because of all of you. We get to keep sharing these amazing stories, keep raising awareness, and keep raising funds in the fight to find a cure for ALS, and we could not do this without all of you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for being a part of this family. I am so excited. If you are new to our family, welcome. I am so glad you are here. And if you haven't done it already, make sure you head over and click the like, click the follow, subscribe, do, all the things. Just click all the buttons because we don't want you to miss any of our shows or any of the fun information that we have because there's so many cool things happening with ALS United. Carrie Ricky is joining. Happy holidays to everyone. She is throwing out there. Carrie, happy holidays to you. She is one of our family members. She's been on the show a few times. She's part of the ALS United family, and we are so happy to have her. Now let's get into this. Let's kick this off because I know you guys are here to see the incredible guests we have on the show tonight. But before we get to that, let's talk about some really cool things that we have coming up. First up, this is huge. So huge. I'm so excited to get to say these words. We have a matching gift campaign going on right now. It started on Giving Tuesday at the beginning of the month, and it is going through the end of December. So until December 31st, all donations that are made to ALS United are being matched up to $50,000. You heard that right, guys. $50,000. Thanks to some amazing friends of our show, Jim Braun and the Sigismund family. You've seen them on here before in past episodes. They have been so kind and so generous, and they have helped make such a huge impact in the lives of those battling ALS, and they are at it again. So Jim Braun and the Sigismund family have generously donated to do a matching gift campaign up to $50,000. So if you've been thinking about donating to a worthy cause, please keep ALS United in mind and know that every dollar that you donate until December 31st will be doubled. So get in. You can find out more information. You can donate at alsunitedchicago.org. Get those donations in, guys. You have until December 31st. Let's make some people extra happy through Christmas. Now, I can't believe I'm saying these words February, but February 2025 is literally around the corner. It will be here before we know it. And we've got a couple really cool events happening then. So on February 7th, it is First Look for Charity. So make sure you mark your calendars. There are still some tickets left, so it is not too late if you want to be a part of that. If you don't know what that is, this is the Chicago Auto Show. This is huge. People come from all over the world to experience the Chicago Auto Show up close and personal. And if you come to First Look for Charity, you can be among the select few that get to view and get to walk through the auto show before it's open to the general public. It is such a blast. You can get all dressed up in suits and tuxes and gowns and just get all gorgeous and glam and come in and look at all the cars, touch them, sit in them. There's amazing food from chefs all throughout the city, drinks, live music, all kinds of incredible stuff. And if you come, a portion of those ticket sales are donated to ALS United. We've got a great suite up there that you can come and relax and hang out with your friends with more snacks, food, and just all around an amazing time. So mark your calendars, February 7th for First Look for Charity. You can find more information on that also on our website at alsunitedchicago.org. Now the next day, if you're feeling extra fun, you come straight out of First Look for Charity being all glam, and now you're ready to party even more. On February 8th, the Mungo family are having their annual Mungo Family Valentine's Day Dance. Woo! Say that 3 times fast. The Mungo Family of Valentine's Day Dance is happening on February 8th. Now, the family has been putting on this dance for 30 years, and we are so blessed to be the featured charity for the 2nd year in a row. The Mungo family has been personally impacted by ALS, and they are doing so much to help those that are also walking through that journey as well. So come out to that on February 8th. It will be held at the Drake in the Oak Brook. So not too far. If you're in the area, get all dressed up again and come out and party for a great cause. Now, what else is happening? Oh my goodness, we've got stuff going on throughout the whole year. So Team ALS runs. There's a couple things happening here. If you are interested in running, walking, jogging, any combination, if you just want to get out there and get some activity for a great cause, Illinois Race Weekend will be happening on April 24th through the 22nd. There's so many different possibilities on distances, half mile. Oh gosh, if Sam was here, she would correct me and give me all the distances, but there's lots of options. So check that out. And then also the Chicago Marathon. Already, I know this is crazy that we're talking about this. That's coming up in October of 2025, but we are bringing it up already because bibs are going so fast. There are not many left. So if you have ever thought about running a marathon, I can tell you now is the time. And not only will you be running a marathon and crossing that finish line at the Chicago Marathon, you'll be doing so for an amazing cause. We would love you to be one of our runners on Team ALS. If you're interested in that, there are still some bibs left, but like I said, they are going so fast. So if you want any more information on joining Team ALS for the 2025 Chicago Marathon or being a part of the Illinois Race Weekend, head over to our website or runtodefeatals.org. Or you can straight up email Sarah. She is fantastic. You will love her. She will help you get all the information that you need. You can email her, sarah@alsunitedchicago.org. If I am able to, I will put those links all up in the comment section a little bit later. Actually, I will copy and paste these now for you. I am without my trusty other half who does all these amazing things for me. But let's get this up here for you and get this going. Here we go. If you need any more information, go ahead and reach out to Sarah or runtodefeatals.org. Awesome. So now that you guys have your calendars full of all the amazing things that are going to be going on for ALS United, let's get to some business. Oh, the comments are blowing up, and I love every second of this. Sending all the sunflowers and hearts straight back at you. Excited for another Sunflower Hour show. You know what? So are we. Happy holidays from Donna. That's amazing. Okay, cool. Well, I love you guys. So let's get to the good stuff. Now, I want you all to sit back for a second and think about what makes you decide to push yourself to the limit and do things that you probably never thought you could. Basically, what motivates and inspires you? Now, for tonight's guest, the answer is very simple. Mike Lavelle. Mike was filled with love and light that he shared with all those that he encountered. Now, he was diagnosed with ALS in 2022, sadly losing his battle just a short time after in 2023. His ALS diagnosis was felt by all of those who loved him. Now, in the words of his care service coordinator, Peggy, she said that Mike was a strong, quiet type. He loved his family beyond measure. He loved his work, and he loved a good gathering of friends. He faced ALS like he faced most things, very grounded and realistic, no time for self-pity. Now, his bravery in the face of this disease left an impact on others that was larger than anyone could have ever imagined. Mike inspired so many to band together and become a voice for those battling ALS and become legs for those who could no longer use theirs. Now, Team Always Lavelle Strong was born, and they continue to fight to end ALS in Mike's honor as part of Team ALS at the Chicago Marathon. Now, here to share their story and their journey of becoming Chicago Marathon finishers, please welcome Kyle, Ari, and Patrick. Let's get you guys in here. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Oh, it is going so great. It looks like Ari and Kyle have frozen straight out of the gate. It's okay. We're going to roll with this. They will probably be joining us very, very soon. But until then, we get to Patrick all to ourselves. How are you?
Yeah, just me, but oh, here they are.
Oh, love it. Welcome,
There
guys.
we go. Sorry about that.
It's all good. That's okay.
Hey, thanks for having us, Susan.
Oh, absolutely. You guys are making a beautiful entrance. Late is always the best way to do it.
Of course. Happy to be here.
Oh, so cool. Well, I know you guys are super, super close as a family, and I love hearing that. That makes me so happy. That makes my heart so happy. Now, you guys well, Kyle and Ari, you guys were fortunate enough to live in pretty close proximity to your Uncle Mike. Now, what was it like having that diagnosis in the family? And even you, Patrick, too, because it was still your family. What was it like for you guys now having this new thing enter the family dynamic?
Yeah, it was incredibly difficult. I mean, we had moved to Chicago about 5 years ago. Was excited to be so close to a family member. They were like a second set of parents to us out in the burbs, and always happy to have us over for dinner, short drive away. And we got really close to them, not only just through that, but historically, they've been such a tremendous resource to us, mentors. And so when this came out of left field, I mean, he was like the healthiest guy in the world, and it all took us by surprise. I've never had this in the family before, so it was terrible. But yeah,
I can echo off that just like moving to Chicago. Kyle and I are both from the Cleveland, Ohio area, so we kind of left our parents and kind of started this new life out here, and really looked to Uncle Mike and his Aunt Maureen as kind of our like adoptive parents out here. And even myself, like I just had joined the family in 2021 when we got married. And honestly, even though Uncle Mike wasn't my blood uncle by any means, it just took me in as family and always treated me as such, and couldn't have asked for, better family here in Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a gut punch, right? I remember exactly where I was standing, exactly what I was doing when I got the phone call from my mom, saying, hey, I got something important to tell you. And just hearing the raw emotion in her voice and her choking out, Uncle Mike got diagnosed was just like a gut punch. And I knew, just how much of a nightmare that was going to be for our family. And I mean, it just was like a shockwave that got sent through all of us. So yeah, it's a really hard thing to face, no matter where you live geographically. I can only imagine, Kyle and Ari given this opportunity to be so close and kind of harbor this new found relationship, and then you hear about this news that's equally as devastating. So,
did you guys know what ALS was? Had you ever heard of this, encountered this before?
Only really with the Lou Gehrig's disease. Growing up, kind of playing baseball, familiar with it, but not to the magnitude of the impact that not only Mike himself, but everyone around him. So it was kind of crazy to hear, and then also being such a rare disease, I thought we were alone, but after talking with other friends and family, it seems like everyone has a story of ALS, which is unbelievably sad. But just to know that there's that support for somebody who's been through it before, and how to approach everything, that makes all the difference for sure.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how the world really is big, but then at the same time, as soon as ALS impacts your life, which I wouldn't wish on anyone, if you're out there, if you're watching this, if you've never known anyone with ALS, I hope that is what happens for you the rest of your life. But if it does come into your family, if it does come into your life, it's all of a sudden, it's like the doors open and you just find these connections all around you, which is so heartbreaking, Because you guys had other friends that it ended up, again, the doors open. It's like the floodgates open and you were meeting other people that had lost loved ones to ALS, and just the chain continues. It sucks. Yeah. Well, can you tell us a little bit about Mike for those of us that never got the pleasure to get to meet him?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, he was a very grounded person, very dry humor, a good, fun to hang out with.
I think that's Mike messing with us. I think he's giving us all a little laugh here. He's having fun. Is Patrick, if you had to sum up Mike in a few sentences, how would you describe him?
Yeah.
People,
Are we gonna get them back? Maybe.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, we got
I'm
you.
so
We got
sorry.
you. Keep going.
So I don't know where that cut out. But just an amazing person to be around. Most loving, person in the world. And we were lucky to know him, and he was my godfather. So I had kind of that extra close relationship. And then, yeah, again, being so close in proximity, I mean, it just brings us together that much more. And hell of a golfer, I'll say that. And, yeah, just a good person through and through.
Yeah.
I love that. That kind of leads me into, I mean, were there any maybe lessons? Was there something that really still sticks with you this day, or something that you see or are reminded of him, or something that really inspires you about him?
Absolutely. I mean, it was, sort of a lesson in tragedy with how he approached this diagnosis, internally, and how he handled it, and how, he didn't want people feeling sorry for him. And he was strong as ever throughout the end, up until the end. So it's something that can be learned, maybe not explicitly, but just a demonstration of such a tremendous human being, and the strength that came with.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that, Kyle. I mean, I remember a time going out to visit Uncle Mike after his diagnosis, and to be honest, you wouldn't have thought anything was wrong. I mean, he handled it with such grace and such poise and strength. I really admire that, and that's, really speaks to kind of the depth of his character. I mean, when people face really challenging things in their life, you kind of get to see what, kind of what's deep down, what's in there. And that's what we got to see out of Mike, is that he was just a really caring, loving person who spent his last, year just being fully engulfed in life and enjoying it as much as he could. So
I love that. He sounds like an amazing man. And I haven't known both of you, or the three of you, for very long, but just getting to talk to you a little bit, it seems like it's definitely some of those qualities run pretty deep in this family. So I think you passed it on, and Ari, you picked it up from just being around.
Yeah, I feel honored to be a part of the Lavelle family. And like I said, just, being a part of the family, I've always felt love from Uncle Mike and Aunt Maureen. And it's just been, an honor to be a part of the family, and learned so much, kind of to echo what Patrick and Kyle have said, learned so much through him and his strength.
I love that. Well, you actually, because we did get to talk a little bit, and you told me that you've always wanted to run a marathon, but you weren't actually really a runner. That kind of wasn't your thing. So I think you're an absolute crazy person for deciding you want to run a marathon, but my hat's off to you. So that sounds like a crazy ambitious goal for someone who is not a runner and does not do this. But you were the first out of the three of you to join Team ALS and run the Chicago Marathon. So how did that inspiration come? How did Mike inspire you to actually just pull that trigger and sign up for the Chicago Marathon?
Yeah, it kind of predates, and I don't think we even talked about this. It predates when I first moved to Chicago about 5 years ago. I actually had never run more than like a 5K in my life. And actually my sister-in-law, Nicole Rex, she and her sister-in-law were signing up for the Columbus Nationwide Children's Hospital, like half marathon. And I was like, that's cool. Like if they're doing it, like I want to be a part of that. Like I want to run with them. So that was right when I moved to Chicago and kind of started to fall in love with running. And through a charity and raising money, I felt inspired to run and motivated to run. And that kind of got you through those difficult trainings. And I guess through that gave me a little bit of the itch to run. And so from that, I always kind of wanted to run a marathon. And I mean, unfortunately, like when we heard the diagnosis in early 2022, we just honestly kind of felt like helpless in that kind of situation of like, how can we help? And, me being a new joiner to the family, I thought, well, I really have found this new passion for running. I've always wanted to run a marathon. What better way than to spread awareness, about this disease, and also help fundraise for a cure, through Team ALS. And honestly kind of kept this pretty close to the chest and started thinking of, wanting to.
I love it. What she is saying is so powerful. The internet cannot keep up. It had to just mute them because it was so amazing. Patrick, did you ever get to talk to Ari about this? Can you continue to iterate what she is saying about her passion for doing this?
Are they back?
Oh, I see some movement.
Hi. We're back.
That's okay.
We're
That's
we're
okay.
actively trying to get this to go to a phone, so hopefully we don't run into this issue.
No worries.
So I really apologize, but basically, I had reached out to Sarah in April and of being interested in running, and was given the news that unfortunately, and fortunately for Team ALS, they were all full. There were no more bibs, and so I took that as not my year, not my time. That's okay. But then as the summer progressed, I still kind of kept running a little bit. But in July, actually, I remember it very vividly. We were driving up to a friend's place for 4th of July weekend, and I got a call from Sarah. And she said, I have great news. Somebody actually had dropped out and a bib had opened up. So if you still want to run and you're still interested, we'd love to have you on the team. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. So that was pretty crazy and then the marathon's only in a couple months from there in October. So finding the, momentum to then fundraise and get into a marathon shape, I suppose, was kind of intimidating, but I felt the support of my family and was excited to kind of take it head on. And I guess that kind of, leads into, I was the first of these two to sign up and start, our team, but I actually found out that I wasn't the first of the Lavelle clan to really sign up in 2022. It came out that we were at Kyle's cousin and Mike's daughter's, Megan, her wedding in August, and we were all together. And I found out that one of Kyle's cousins, Ben Kennedy, and on the other side of the family, Bruce and Eileen Haneke and their son Brian had also signed up. And so we were all training, and it's mid-August. We're like, oh my gosh, we all kind of put our heads together and put 2 and 2, and we're like, wow, we could put our fundraising efforts together, and really support Uncle Mike in this sense. And from there, we created Team Always Lavelle Strong. So it was pretty cool that we were all separately having the same feelings of how can we help, what can we do, and kind of, again, keeping it a little bit to ourselves. I mean, I feel like that was just kind of how we went about it, and then being able to kind of bring those individual goals together to create one big goal and one team really was I think that was the coolest part.
Oh, that's so awesome. And goal-wise, since you brought that up, I mean, this in itself is amazing. You were coming into this just kind of thinking you're going to do this by yourself. You were doing something to honor Mike, keeping it under wraps, being quiet. Then you find out other people in the family are running. Then you create Always Lavelle Strong. Now, what was that initial goal when you went into this? To combine all those fundraising goals together, you're thinking, okay, we're going to raise this much. What was the initial goal? And then how the heck did you guys blow that out of the water to become the #1 fundraising team?
So I think the initial individual goal is when you sign up a little bit later, it's 2,000 and some change for an individual. So I was like, I think I can hit that. And then slowly as donations came in, I was like, okay, maybe we can up it to 5, maybe 8. Yeah. And I think when we joined forces of there's 4 of us that were running together, we're like, oh my gosh, the impact here is crazy. And I think I ended up being the top I feel like it was close to 12, and maybe it was 11. I won't overshoot myself. And then as a team, we raised over $30,000, which was insane, and really overwhelming. I remember, I think I had a goal of $10,000 that I had upped personally for going into the marathon. And I was riding the train down, and I had posted something on social media, and remember getting down we're only $200 away. And I got down to the start of the race and blew it over $10,000, right at the beginning. So that was really, really a cool and special moment to see, the impact of getting the word out there and people rallying for you. Yeah. And I could not have done it without the amazing people like Bruce, Eileen, Brian, and Ben in 2022. They were incredible.
I love that. And I love that you're saying this too, because I think a lot of people get really scared when they think about maybe running a marathon. I mean, running a marathon in general is scary, but if you can get past that, and then you think, oh man, now I've got to raise money. And it's a really scary thing to be asking people for money, trying to raise money. But I think what's really cool. Love this. We're going. I love it. Welcome back. I think what's really cool though, is to hear that story from you, that I think it's easier than maybe most people would think, right? So what would you say to those people that are kind of scared and intimidated about joining a charity run and having to raise money and having to ask people for money?
Oh, it's so for money, and you feel like you're being a bother. And I mean, I will let the other two of them, like Patrick and Kyle, speak. But for me, I feel like it was just, just getting the word out and talking to what you're going through and what you're running for and explaining the situation. And it's incredible to see, again, like people kind of coming out of the woodworks of stories of how they've been impacted with ALS, or they knew somebody. And it's sad, but it's also really powerful. But I don't know how you guys.
No, yeah, I had never really fundraised before in my life, so this was kind of a new start for me. Thankfully, Ari gave me the template from running the 2-year program. So we had a little bit of like I'm also not on social media too, so that it was hard for me to get out.
I was his PR rep.
Yes,
Love it.
Stories, and she would go out every single training run with me and kind of give a little post at the end of me just like drenched in sweat, like struggling to breathe. And she's like,
best day of your life.
Yeah. So that was a big kind of push. And thanks to her, we were able to, Patrick and I collectively raise, I think it was maybe a little short of 25,000 between the two of us. So
guys, yeah, spoiler alert, the boys joined in on the fun. So the family kept growing, and you guys saw what Ari was doing. You jumped in. I mean, it seems obvious, but what the heck made you want to sign up after that? after you saw the torture of what it actually takes to run a marathon, why were you crazy enough to want to jump in and do it too?
You know what? After Ari ran it, I was like, oh, that was cool. That was a really fun one-time moment, like watching her on and trying to follow her through the city of Chicago, and then the atmosphere as well. So I was like, okay, that had to be fun. Maybe I'll volunteer next year as my commitment to Team ALS. And then it wasn't until our friend Nicole Walker ran in 2023 for Team ALS as well. Watching her go through kind of that same process of, not really being a runner, putting your mind to something in a sense of, I want to do this for a good cause and whatever it takes to it. It was really inspiring. And I actually shot her a text the day of the 2023 marathon and said, hey, if you're looking for a little extra inspiration, just wanted to say that you were, the instrumental point of me going to sign up for the 2024 marathon. So drop that in her inbox the morning of the marathon. She was the first person I told, and then going down to the Team ALS cheer section and being surrounded by that and seeing everyone else who was running the 2023 marathon. It's just overwhelming and such a surreal experience. And I was able to talk to Sarah down there, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be, the first person to sign up when the window opens. And then I promise you, I'm going to be the highest donator. As Ari set the bar pretty high.
There's no competition.
But it was a mix of Ari kind of setting the tone, as well as the Hanekes and Ben Kennedy. But what really pushed me over the edge was Nicole Walker. So.
Yeah,
how about she
was running in honor of her uncle Glenn, who had passed also ALS, like we had kind of mentioned earlier. Wanted to bring that up. So
yeah, like I said, it's a big but small world all at the same time. And this connects everybody. How about you, Patrick? Why in the world did you decide you're coming to Chicago to run the marathon? You crazy person, 26.2 miles. Sounds like a psycho.
Maybe a little bit of a psycho. So I was actually visiting Kyle's parents over the summer, like mid-July, I want to say, like right after 4th of July. We were out there golfing, just kind of catching up with the family. And I heard what Kyle was doing. And I obviously knew what Ari had done previously, and that really impressed me. But Kyle coming into the whole challenge saying, I'm going to do couch to 26.2 kind of really struck a note with me. And I just kept thinking in my mind, like, I'm young, I'm in somewhat shape. Like, I'm totally capable of doing something like this. Like, why not? Like, if Kyle's willing to sacrifice and do it, there's no reason he needs to go and do it alone. Like, I want to be there to support him. I want to rally around him, kind of use that as like a focal point to rally the family into this kind of cause again. And I remember sitting in my car on the way home to Penn State from Cleveland and thinking, like, how in the world am I going to do this? I have exactly 90 days to train for a marathon, something that most people couldn't even imagine doing. And I'm like, what did I get myself into? Like, I want to do it so bad, but I was having so much self-doubt. And I remember sending Sarah the email, and as soon as I sent the email, I knew 100%, like, that was the right decision. I'm so glad that I did it. I'm so glad that I jumped in, and I was just determined. I don't care about the 90 days. Like, I will find a way. And that was something that was echoed kind of in my mind since actually running the marathon. Is the coach had said during the Team ALS dinner, which was an awesome event we got to be a part of the night before, when you have a why, you will overcome or find a way through any how. And Uncle Mike is such a strong why for this family that it wouldn't have mattered if, like, I would have walked the 26.2. I would have crawled. I think me and Kyle were joking a couple weeks beforehand, like, we're finishing this race no matter what. So I was just really inspired by, Kyle and Ari's and so many other people's kind of commitment and dedication to something that I just couldn't stand by anymore. I had to jump in.
I love that. That is so incredibly beautiful. And you almost didn't get that chance too, right? I think you had a similar situation. You almost missed getting to run.
Yeah. So we emailed Sarah, and it was just kind of fate be have it. Someone had dropped out either like the day before or the same day that we had emailed. And she was so excited for me. And we were sending emails back and forth frantically, trying to get registered and get me in. And I don't know how much more of a sign you need that this is exactly what you need to do and that it was just meant to be. But yeah, I was just so thankful for the opportunity, truly.
I love that. It's so serendipitous for both of you. Kyle, you were lucky. You just got right on in there. You just slid in there. But I think it's so cool. Yeah, you both wanted it so bad. It was taken off the table. It wasn't an option at first. And then, life, Mike, everyone was in your corner, and it just worked out. And there you are, crossing the finish line. Which, speaking of, before I get to the crossing the finish line story, though, that's really cool. How did you tell, Kyle, how did you tell Ari that you were running the marathon? I think this is super cute.
It was a really thing. Her birthday, maybe a week after the 2023 marathon, and got her a little card. And maybe it's a little cheap on my behalf, but it's
romantic and thoughtful. That's what we're gonna go with.
I think it's our wedding anniversary too in that same little week. So just lump it all in for year 3.
And then wrote a nice little card, and then out of the card dropped a printed piece of paper, and it was my registration form for the 2024 marathon. So
something I was not expecting when I opened that card. Like, I had no idea this was even on Kyle's radar, like at all. Like, he never had even mentioned like that he'd ever want to run a 5K, a mile.
The only time I said I would run a 5K was if she raised $10,000. I was like, I'll run the turkey trot.
He would
5K.
run the turkey trot. Yeah, in 2022, he's like, if you raise $10,000, I'll run a 5K for the turkey trot.
And you did it. That was the hardest thing ever because I'm not a runner, wasn't really in the best shape. So that was my pseudo start to my running journey was because of Ari. But yeah, that was a different kind of gift for birthday and anniversary. And then I thought it would have a pretty profound impact. So I'm glad.
Technically, that was a $25,000 gift.
Right.
So that is not cheap. You gave the best gift ever.
Yeah.
So gentlemen watching this, listen up and get your lady a $25,000 donation to ALS United. Make that happen. And, if you ever needed a coach, Kyle, if you want to do this again, you've got Patrick right here. I didn't realize, Patrick, you only had 90 days to get ready for this. So kudos to you, my friend. Holy smokes.
I don't know how I did it, to be honest. People, all my friends were, when I was telling them, they're like, are you insane? What is wrong with you? Like, how are you supposed, because I mean, I had run a half marathon in the spring prior. But other than that, I mean, I would not consider myself like a big time runner. Like I had kind of just gotten into it, like post high school, college type athletic crisis. Like you don't play your sport anymore. So you got to jump into be a runner. So I had kind of just started in that year, like, oh, I'll do like 3 miles every couple of days, maybe take time off. And so, yeah, trying to train for a marathon with 90 days was just psycho. Yeah. Would not recommend. Don't do it that way.
I love it. Well, okay. So speaking of this, let's talk about that training process, because I myself have no idea. I have never tried. I've never trained for a marathon, and let's be serious, I'm probably never gonna. So I leave it up to the capable people that can actually do it. I know my strength. So for you three fantastic superstars that did actually train and run a marathon, what was that experience like? Because I've heard we've had guests on the show before that have run, and they always have these really beautiful sort of transformations that happen to them while they are running, moments of either that helps them work through their grief, which we've heard a lot, and I think is really cool, especially when you lose someone and you miss them. It kind of helps you cope with some of that sadness, or it helps give you clarity, or I don't know, all kinds of things happen during the training process. So what was training like for the three of you? Did any profound lessons or realizations come from the training process?
Yeah, I think for me, like when I ran, it was when Uncle Mike got his diagnosis. So I was thinking I was motivated to run for people who couldn't run, and that who might want to run, like people who couldn't move their bodies in a way. And I think when I was running, the training process is very strenuous and time consuming, a lot of miles and a lot of time and a lot of Saturday mornings and I trained by myself the first time. So just alone along the Chicago Lakeshore Path, which, if you know it, is beautiful, but also very long and kind of 20 miles down. But anyways, and I think during those times where you get challenging and you continue to push yourself and break through those barriers of miles you've never seen before, just reminding yourself of like the why you're running. And I think as Patrick said, but also like I was thinking not only of Uncle Mike, but then of all those others who might be out there who wish they could run and can't, and just kind of being grateful for the body that we are blessed with right now.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then I mean, it's been said, like the running theme of mine was couch to 26.2. Remember?
Oh.
Yeah. June, I ran my first training mile, and I was like, how am I going to do this times 26? But I mean, it felt, each run felt, like it had a little more purpose. Every finish to the run, no matter if it was 1 mile or 5 miles, 10, or to the last training mile, 20, I felt like I was crossing the marathon finish line at the end of every run, and I knew, what that meant and how to give me that extra strength. Maybe if the hamstring's a little sore, or if I'm cramping up a little bit, something to get me through the runs. There were, a couple runs where I just couldn't go because I had an injury. But being smart and knowing your limits and kind of moving things around within the training regimen was important to me, and it helped having a seasoned veteran running each step with me, because I was not able to do that with her, but it helped having her run alongside. And it's such a long time out there. And
it's your pace car.
Yes. So it helps to have that support literally right next to you. If you needed anything or any,
make sure we're taking water, make sure we're fueling, make sure we're listening to our bodies, all important things.
So yeah, having her every step of the way was instrumental. And then, you're out there for a really long time, so your thoughts kind of wander, and you find yourself thinking about Uncle Mike and everyone else in the family, and how this has impacted them, and then the creator, Team ALS, and everyone that's also training alongside. There was definitely a few times on the lakeshore that I saw the Team ALS bib running,
Cool.
probably passing me, if not way. It was nice to see everyone taking it seriously and working towards something collectively. So that was a surreal experience. There were times where it was fun, but there was times where it was very long. After gone through that, and
Made it on the other side.
Yeah, we made it to the other.
Woo-hoo. How about you, Patrick? What was that training experience like for you, especially when you only had 3 months?
It was definitely a bit of a journey. I think my first or second week, I ran like 13 miles on my long run, and I mean, it was hot this summer. I'm a student at Penn State, and so State College, PA, right in the center of Pennsylvania. It was hot and humid, and it was really challenging. Definitely a personal journey, but I mean, the why just continued to kind of push me through. There was a lot of time spent thinking about people who aren't as fortunate as myself, who was healthy, and just all the other, family members, and how I knew it impacted them. And, just, you're right. You kind of just like work through things in your head, because you have a lot of you time, a lot of just you and the road. Yeah. And so it's definitely a really difficult but kind of cool personal journey to go on. So to anyone who's thinking about running a marathon, I think that the hardest part is just deciding you're going to do it, to be honest. Yeah. The rest of it's kind of downhill. But yeah, it was a really great personal kind of growth journey. For sure. There was a lot of moments where I thought, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do it. And I just took it one workout at a time, one run at a time, and just strung it together. And it was really awesome. As kind of stressful and as much hard work as it was, I couldn't be more thankful that I kind of pushed myself, or had the opportunity to push myself through something like that. Was
this your first marathon ever?
Yeah.
Ooh, coming out of the gate with Team ALS. That is awesome. Now, speaking of that, for you guys, what was it like to be a part of Team ALS? What does that mean? What did it mean to you, and what was that experience like?
I would just say, I mean, coming initially thinking you're kind of an individual going through this journey alone, you're not. I think it comes to light. I think Patrick kind of brought it up on the race weekend when we have your pre-race dinner with everyone on Team ALS who is running, and you get to hear everyone's personal stories about their whys. It's just really moving, and it's impactful. And I think it was so cool, like even running marathon day, and I would see people with like the Team ALS shirts on, or running by the cheer section, and being able to kind of cheer on other runners as I was running. And then this year as a spectator, like watching Kyle and Patrick, and sometimes, you're cheering on your loved ones, but being able to spot out those other individuals in the crowd and feel like you're a part of, a community.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'd mirror that as well. I'd experienced the banquet the night before with Ari and her family, and it matched even more this past race. But everyone there has a why, and you're not alone. Yeah. Even the people who haven't had a personal impact to the disease. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were people that had studied infectious diseases and said, "Hey, I see the impact of this. It hasn't personally impacted me, but I want to do as much as I can because of this such a horrible disease." So it was the people that didn't have really any personal ties to it that were also very inspiring. And then just kind of being all in the same room, everyone's family, and sharing their stories, and how many marathons they've done. It was really unbelievable. And I felt very welcomed and inspired to run that next day.
Yeah, I mean the Team ALS community is just an awesome thing to be a part of. I mean, I told Sarah personally that I'm so thankful for everything that she does and everyone else behind the scenes, all of the people who are at the cheer zones and everyone like yourself who works, year round to raise awareness and fundraise for such an important cause. It's just a really great community to be a part of, and it just means a lot to so many people. And kind of like what Kyle and Ari mentioned, going to the Team ALS dinner and hearing so many stories and hearing how many people have done this more than 10, 20, like somebody I think had run like 30 some marathons for Team ALS, I think. I hope I'm not misquoting that, but it was just it was really inspiring to hear just how much dedication everyone from across the globe. I think we had a runner from the UK come in and share a story. Like it's just a really great community to be a part of.
Yeah. I feel like you feel that. I hear that a lot. And I've been there cheering them on in the cheer tents. Unless you experience it, it won't probably even really make sense, but it's a family. It is, you guys are there. You guys have put your bodies through heck and back. Everything you've been through to even get to that weekend is so intense. So you're all walking the same path. And then to know, like you were saying, Patrick, that why, to have that why, to hear those stories, to get out there, that makes the pain seem so much smaller. Maybe it doesn't, but in my mind, it makes the pain seem so much smaller when you know why you're doing it. And when you remember that, and you guys are doing it for Mike and for everyone that is not able to continue running. Now it's my turn to freeze.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Awesome. Keep going. I'm going to restart my computer. I want you to talk to everybody about, with the run weekend, what did you look most forward to, or what was maybe the most inspiring thing that happened from the experience with running? And I'm going to be right back. I'll let you guys take it away, and I'm going to do a restart.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I think just echoing the pre-race exciting dinner, going to the expo. There's just so many Chicago just lights up. It's such an electric weekend. Even not running the last 2 years, it's just so exciting to be a part of. And I think running and spectating both is just. What other sport do you get to run participate along professional athletes? You don't get to go golfing with Tiger Woods, but you get to run on these on a marathon course with some of the most elite athletes in the world, which I think is truly inspiring. And I always cry watching and running. But I think it was really cool this year. Something I really look forward to was watching Kyle and Patrick take on the race. And I think you should talk about kind of how your race kind of went with the two of you, because that was really cool to witness.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick is obviously in a little better shape than me. 2 minute, 2+ lower pace than me. But Patrick, it was really cool of you to run that whole first half of the marathon with my slow ass. So that was really inspiring there. And then seeing just the different pockets of our personal supporters and how they followed us, throughout the city, and especially the Lakeview neighborhood. It was amazing to see, but not only those guys, but the overall atmosphere of everything. I had told myself I would, have my headphones in the whole time, and kind of tune everything out. But I found myself for most of the race actually with no headphones in and just kind of soaking in all the cheers and the atmosphere there. There's so many people that come out and pour out into the streets that just to cheer on random people, and then the Team ALS cheer station as well was really inspiring to run through. So being in those pockets of neighborhoods and seeing Chicago in a little bit different way, but everyone out and support was really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, like I said, I wanted to, give you support in your mission that you kind of undertook on your own, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Come race day, I think that us running the first half together and being able to stop several times to see, the family and the friends that had come out to support both of us was, a really unique and really unique moment, and something that I really did cherish and enjoy. I thought that was really cool. Not very many people get that kind of an experience where you can, run with someone and just, I wasn't too worried about any type of pace. I was just happy to be there with you and soak it all in. I'm sorry that I had to peel away, but
For you.
I wanted to kind of let loose in the second half of the race and just became a heat-seeking missile for that finish line. Because that was also kind of cool, as I got to kind of spend some time, much like my training runs, where it was just kind of me. And it's obviously very different because you've got thousands of people cheering for you, and it's a great way to see the city of Chicago. I was, blown away by all the different neighborhoods and just the atmosphere that you get. Like you said, it's so awesome. I think that one of the biggest highlights, obviously, of race weekend is the finish line, right? I mean, I can't say that wasn't probably one of the best moments of my life, was crossing that finish line. I mean, the emotion that you have is just undescribable. But I think that the post race kind of experience as well, where we just got together with all the family and friends that came to support us up. Yeah,
Oh,
there's me, and that's what, mile 20-ish.
That was like 21, 22 in Chinatown. We got that.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
as good of shape when I passed that same marker.
I didn't release that photo.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, that is me coming around the corner, just absolutely electrified, yelling at all the supporters. Ari was there. That's finish line photo. You couldn't have wiped the smile off my face that day. So yeah, really, really cool moments for sure.
Flashback to 2022, and that's when Eileen came into Chicago with these shirts that said "Always Lavelle Strong" and "Miles for Mike" on the back. So we were all wearing them at the end of the night, and that's finish line, feet off the ground. You can't wipe the smile off your face when you see that finish line. Yep, and that's
I love this.
Yeah, that's the crew from 2022.
Love it so much. And I want to share this story. I want you to share this story. I think this is so beautiful.
Yeah, that was, I kind of always visualized this during my training and how I was going to kind of honor Mike in this sense. Obviously, he wasn't there with us to either watch along or be a part of it. So I wanted to make sure that I carried him across the finish line. So that's a picture from his funeral, the little prayer card. I had that in my running bag the entire race. I knew he would be with me. And then that moment crossing the finish line, I mean, I don't have too much of a smile on my face by any means, but that's more of just the sheer, I knew that he was with me every step. And I had that held up the whole time from passing, right before mile 26, passing these guys in the cheer station, and then all the way up the hill and through the finish line. So wanted to make sure that Mike was involved in my journey, because he had been there with me kind of that whole training process. So that was really important to me to get that moment in there.
It was really special.
So.
I love that. I love that photo. I love everything about it. I love that he got to be there through this journey and in that spirit, because we know what an amazing man he was. And he had, I really meant it when I said he had this impact that was kind of larger than life. To be able to bring the three of you to running the Chicago Marathon, creating Always Lavelle Strong, finding out other family members were doing it. You guys were top fundraisers multiple years in a row. You brought in so much money in his honor to help so many other people in the area that are fighting that same battle that he fought so incredibly well, so nobly, and with a lot of strength and courage. So with that in mind, just the idea of just kind of spreading some of that love, and life is short. With the three of you, I mean, I'm a big fan of always saying the great things about each other. So what are some things that maybe inspire or you admire about each other? You've gone through this crazy journey together, and you guys are a close-knit family. Tell me some good stuff about each other.
Well, I mean, what hasn't been said already? I mean, Patrick, to get 90 days of training and to run a whole marathon. Ari, for running every step with me and not even running the marathon, I thought was invaluable. Kind of the perseverance that everyone has shown. Again, it's terrible that a tragedy like this can bring us together, but just the fact that we are together, I think makes all the difference and really shows how strong this family can be. And I hope that it inspires all the other families affected by this, big and small, that life's short and can happen to anyone. I mean, nobody expected this. It might as well be a car accident, but you get a little extra time. But it was a very unique, surreal experience, and I couldn't have done it without Patrick and without Ari and without the whole Lavelle Haneke clan and everyone who has shown their support donating to our cause.
Yeah, Kyle, you really took everything that I kind of wanted to say back at you. I just feel like when I first signed up, I mean, I feel like I couldn't have gone through that training process of my first marathon without his support. While he might have not been running alongside of me, just the encouragement and asking how everyone went, really being invested in my journey, and then rallying all my friends and family when they came to watch me in 2022. Like, that's just something that I really wanted to emulate for him this year, because it's something that he did for me, and hopefully we did it justice.
Yes.
But it was really impactful, and I'm just inspired by Patrick for jumping on the train and supporting Kyle. Like, run those first, like that. We live really close to mile 7, so seeing the two of them run up, I wasn't expecting them to be so, like, when we were there in the same corral, we just didn't expect them to be running together. And so seeing that and seeing Kyle like excited and smiling, I'm like, this is the best. It was just like something I'll never forget. So thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, from all the Christmases and Thanksgivings that we've shared over the years, all the family gatherings, I mean, outside of the family relation, you're just a great person, great guy, and I can't tell you how much I'm thankful that you could inspire me to undertake something so important. I mean, the drive and the dedication that you had to do this, I know all too well because I did it. I mean, I get it. So I give you so much kudos for that. And then Ari, I mean, you undertook a challenge in a family that you married into. I mean, this is not your blood relative that we're talking about, but you acted as if, it was, and you've always shown so much care and always brought the best out in everyone around you. I'm so thankful that you've become a part of our family, and you've made all of us better people. So I just thank you for that. I mean, that's really awesome.
You're gonna make me cry.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little teary-eyed here, and you guys your family is awesome, and the love and respect you guys have for each other, and the way that you came together in the face of this horrible situation and were able to take something really nasty and evil and turn it into something so beautiful and so special, and continue to share Mike's story and to continue to fight in his honor and keep that legacy alive is absolutely incredible. So for that in itself, I know I'm not your family, but I absolutely massively respect and admire all three of you for what you've done and continue to do for ALS awareness.
Thank you.
Thanks. Small
you could
of a bigger thing, but thank you.
Yeah. And one last question, just because there's a lot of great causes in the world. There are a lot of charities why ALS United? Obviously, you have the personal connection, but why is it so important for you guys to go above and beyond and to do this and to be able to raise those kinds of numbers and be the #1 fundraiser and make that donation to ALS United?
Yeah, I think it's definitely what Mike would do. I mean, he would never half-ass anything, throw every ounce of effort he could into a greater goal. And we got overwhelming positive feedback for what Team ALS did throughout the process from Mike's diagnosis to the end. So it was really special and meaningful that we can give back in a way what was given to our family in such a tragic time.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you donate to a cause and a charity and you hope your money is going to good, but just to hear firsthand and to see firsthand how it was used and the impact it had, just, I think, wanting to give, like Kyle said, wanting to give the same to other families who are in the area and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like why ALS? I think the thing that rings in my head is that, there's with an ALS diagnosis right now, obviously there's no cure, and that there's a lot of reasons to have no hope in those scenarios. It's a really hard thing to face, and I think that getting involved with raising money and being a part of Team ALS gives a lot of reasons for hope, gives a lot of reasons to be hopeful for the future, for finding a cure, for finding better, resources, treatments, whatever it might be. It just gives that kind of beacon that I think otherwise it'd be a pretty dark place without, that kind of that fundraising and that the resources that Kyle already said that provided for Uncle Mike and our family in our kind of one of our darkest hours. So it's just providing that opportunity for somebody else and just lighting a little bit of a torch in that kind of dark scenario, so.
Very well said. Very, very well said, Patrick. You guys are fantastic. I don't know if you're seeing the comment section and all the love that is coming your way, but people are incredibly inspired by you. They love your family already. They are proud of the love and support you have for your family and those suffering for ALS. Oh, someone's mom is tuning in. Lynn, whose mom is that? Oh, I love it. Lynn, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the family. Welcome to Sunflower Hour family. Peggy, you guys know her all too well. They love your energy. I concur. I believe it. Oh, Mike loved his family beyond measure. Absolutely. And Peggy can't get enough. Mike was an amazing soul. It was an honor to know him and support him on his journey. You guys are so incredible. I like to end the show always with kind of a challenge for anyone watching, anyone listening. So what is something that you guys can throw out to any of the audience members that are watching this show right now that they could do to honor Mike? How could they honor him, cherish him? What's something they could do for him?
That's a really good question. Keep living every day like last. And when things, when the ball doesn't bounce away, for lack of a better word, don't beat yourself up about it. Stay positive. Be connected by love. And it's exactly what he demonstrated since the diagnosis. So just continue to emulate that with family and friends, and know that you're not alone when you have struggles, no matter if it's a terminal illness or just a challenge in life. That's what Mike would do. Yeah,
I would say just be a good, community member. Be loving and caring for other people. Maybe something to do. I don't know. Do some random act of kindness. Buy a stranger a cup of coffee and just have a nice day. I don't know. He was always lit up a room. So just kind of emulate that legacy of goodness, I think, is a great thing that people could do to honor Uncle Mike.
I love that. Well, on that note, you guys, I know you've been such a huge part of Team ALS, all of you and your different moments in time. Are we going to see Always Lavelle Strong in 2025? Anybody?
You might. Stay tuned.
Okay. I like that mysterious to be continued on that one, everyone. So you're going to have to come out to 2025 Chicago Marathon and see if any of these beautiful people are running. Come out and support. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us, for sharing that story, and seriously for everything you guys do and have continued to do. I know that Mike is so incredibly proud, and he is up there shining so bright and lighting up heaven, and really proud of what you guys are doing down here in his name.
Of course. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I hope I see you guys again very, very soon. Have an amazing holiday.
You as well.
Thanks, Susan.
Yeah, you too.
Yes.
You guys, you heard it from the very best of the best. Always Lavelle strong. Let's hope we see them back again in 2025. And in his honor, you heard it straight from the family. Guys, let's just remember how short life really is and do a random act of kindness in Mike's honor and just live every day to the fullest. It is the end of the year. Make the absolute most of it and tell those that you love them, because as always, life is short. We will see you again for more live season Sunflower Hour in 2025. You guys have an amazing holiday. Have a great end of the year. We'll see you next year. And until then, everybody, be bright and shine your light.